You know, I was going to tell myself to put off the YouTube video till tomorrow because I'm battling, I believe, the flu right now. But I noticed it's been 11 days since I've made a YouTube video, so I'm actually wearing my pajamas. My appetite is better than yesterday. Yesterday I had very little appetite. I've been running a fever. My normal body temperature is like 96.3, and today when I woke up it was 99.4. It went up to 100.4. Yesterday it went to about 100. I'm feeling better than yesterday, even though the temperature I think is about the same. I think I caught something from, I'm not sure. I've been going out a lot, you know, so I guess I was bound to catch something sooner or later, you know. I think from now on, when I go out for my walks, and I get on the bus, I'm gonna wear an N95 mask. Yeah, I think somebody very contagious was on the bus. They were sick and they were on the bus. That's what I think happened. Yeah, I have a very strong immune system, but apparently it wasn't strong enough to overcome the doozies of germs that I got exposed to, probably riding the bus. Yesterday, I had the day before yesterday, I had an interesting experience. I was going to my P.O. box to get a nonsense letter from my sister. I call it a nonsense letter because she's pretending like excuse the way I look, but I'm wearing minimal makeup because as soon as I'm done making this video, I'm going to be going to bed. Yeah, I managed to eat better today. I've got a little bit of a scratchy throat, a cough, so this is kind of upper respiratory, a fever. I'm feeling better than yesterday though, because this morning I ate a regular breakfast. I made some homemade chicken broth soup from chicken drumsticks, celery, carrots, onions. I always make that whenever I come down with the virus. So yeah, I'm gonna get an N95 mask. Yeah, I don't enjoy being sick. Yeah, so I don't know if it'll work. But I noticed that one of the bus drivers wears one all the time. I call him the Christian bus driver. He's this black guy who's always listening to Christian radio on the bus. In this state, we're in the Bible Belt, so it's pretty common to for stuff like that to happen. When I first moved here from Florida, I got a kick out of it, you know. But we're in the Bible Belt, so yeah, I admire him for his courage. This is black guy he always wears an N95 mask. I don't even know what his name is, and he always listens to Christian radio on the bus, and I thought, boy, that guy is brave. I appreciate his courage. Yeah, this illness that I got is really weird. Like, it'll give me hot flashes, and a scratchy throat, a fever, and I was gonna put off making the video till I felt a little bit better, but I thought, wow, it's been 11 days. I'm still trying to do the Gail Commandments. Let me give you an example. There is one Gail Commandment that says, thou shalt go on walks every day unless the day is rainy or unsuitable for walks. And Jesus told me back in 2013 it's to be a half an hour walk. And I was just thinking, do you make exceptions for when I have a fever? And, you know, I just thought of something. Actually, it's rather cold outside. And I remember when he was with us, I asked him if the temperature's in the lower 30s or below. Can I be excused from my walk? And he said, yeah, that's the time you work out indoors. I have a glider with the windows open. But it says unsuitable for walks. So I imagine if you're running a fever, that would be a day where that is unsuitable for walks. Now, what I did was I worked, and in spite of the fact that I definitely didn't feel like it, I worked out very mildly on my glider for a half an hour with the windows open. Yeah, when I woke up, my temperature was 99.1. When I was done with the glider, it bounced up to 99.4. So I'm kind of like saying, are you sure this is a good idea? But you know, Brent was talking to me brain to brain, and he said it's normal. I personally, I think I have the flu, okay? He said it's normal for the body temperature to go up. Anyways, I wanted to wait till tomorrow to make this. Yeah. Yeah, I had an interesting incident that happened to me 2 days ago when I was at the transfer center for our buses. The Route 8 bus driver got switched out with her clone. And I just wanted to ask her a simple question. Is this bus going to be going to the Walmart at Sparkman? And she said, huh? She said, don't you need to say hello first or greet me. And I thought, what kind of an answer is that, you know? And she was making this big production that I didn't politely ask her how her day was or something before I asked her the question whether the Route 8 bus would still be going to the Walmart at Sparkman. Then after she gave me a big long spiel castigating me for my bad manners and not asking her how her day was going first before I approached her with that question, she said, no. And I thought, boy, that was strange. And then she bounced up and down and said, yay! And I thought, well, you know, I had made a YouTube video where I talked about, yeah, you're going to have to excuse me. I wanted to put this off another day, but it's been 11 days since I've made a YouTube video, so I don't want to be in breach of the Gail Commandments, lest Baphomet come back in here. So, yeah, yeah, I've got the flu, you guys. Let me keep the water down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the flu. I got the typical flu symptoms: achy joints, muscles, tired, scratchy, dry cough, you know, fever. I've been forcing the water down like crazy. Made homemade chicken soup this morning. I had enough of an appetite to eat strawberries, orange wedges, oatmeal with some yogurt and blueberries, and a piece of dark chocolate. And with my walnuts, my favorite breakfast. It's a very nutritious breakfast, so it probably won't hurt anything. I'm kind of cutting back a little bit on the dairy products. I know I heard somewhere that you got to be careful with dairy products when you have a upper respiratory viral infection. However, I think yogurt and kefir would be beneficial, so I am continuing that. Yeah. And I think dark chocolate, see, dark chocolate I think is good too, so. I actually feel better since I had my breakfast. And I had chicken broth for breakfast with a little bit of rice in it. And of course I'm putting the water down like crazy. Yeah, I have a Brita water pitcher and I've been filling it up and drinking my water, you know. Yeah, so that was strange. I found out during Discord that was a clone of the Route 8 bus driver and that Brent used his nipple guns on her. Yeah. That was really strange reaction. And then I said to her, wow, I can't even ask a simple question without you making a big production out of it. And then she kind of huffed off and went away. I'm wondering if she might have secretly sprayed germs inside the Route 8 bus, because she was spraying inside of the bus and then she left and went to her another bus. I'm wondering if that might have been her present to me. And maybe that's why I'm sick right now, but I'm not sure. Brent seems to be telling me brain to brain that I just sat next to somebody on the bus who was highly contagious. Yeah, apparently they were a Lizzo Jesuit and their job was to make me sick. And they succeeded. Fortunately, my immune system is very strong and I seem to be doing fairly well. But I've been bedridden. Yesterday I was bedridden, and today I plan, as soon as I make this video, I plan on going to bed, but I'm late on the YouTube videos. Yeah, I actually, well, I was complaining about the Route 8 because the new Route 8 is set up where I'm going to have to walk more to get to one of my favorite Walmarts. But you know, I just thought this is probably a blessing in disguise now that I think I caught something nasty from the bus. With the new route, it's actually going to force me to spend less time on the bus. So I'm less likely to catch something from the bus. So that's one positive way of looking at it. Yeah, I got to walk more, but at least I'll be outdoors and less likely to get infected from somebody. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll have to walk, 40 minutes to go home. But at least I probably won't catch the flu on the way home, right? So I've decided to count your blessings. And then the other Walmart that I like to go to on Route 9, that one's going to... So I asked her, I'm a little confused. Was your answer yes or no? And she said no. And that means that no, we will not be going to that Walmart. So I was joking on the bus on the way home with some fellow bus rider. I says, it looks like the head honcho for this bus company got paid off by Lizzo. And I even said this on the bus. I said, it appears that the Route 8 bus driver got replaced with a clone. Yeah, I said, you need to listen to GabrielChana.blog to get the real news. I said, everybody else is lying to you. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was later verified. So yeah, Lizzo apparently does not like it that I'm using the bus to explore the town, keep my chakras fresh, and I go into meditation, and then when I get into go into meditation, I decide to, like I said, I didn't want to make a video today, but it's been 11 days, so I thought I'd better, or I'm going to be in trouble with the Gail Commandment. So, I was just going to hit the sack as soon as I was done with breakfast, and I'm going to be hitting the sack as soon as this gets processed. So, I told Zach to give me some of his semen, and that seems to be helping, but it appears this germ is pretty resilient. It could be a combo of virus with the mites, which may explain what the mites are shapeshifters. So some of them may be shapeshifting into viruses and stuff. So that could be complicating things. And maybe into different types of viruses. So, but nevertheless, it won't hurt to keep the water down. Water even helps with mites. So I actually wrote something for my sister because that I wanted my men to read to her. In fact, I might even talk about that in this YouTube video. When I went into meditation the other day, I was concerned about her because I hear she's gained a lot of weight, and according to Gerard Butler, I heard about this in my hangout, she suffers from a dry vagina, and this is why she is a psychopath. She's currently a psychopath. So what I did was I told my men to read her this statement. So I said, I'm worried about my sister. This was yesterday. During the Discord hangout when Gerard Butler said the reason my sister is a psychopath is because she has a dry vagina. I've got her totally figured out. She is very suicidal right now. You might say suicidal. Has she gone and suicidal in the slow suicide method. What I mean by that is she's overeating. She's got a master's degree in nursing. She knows this is not healthy. So this is actually a form of slow suicide. She's actually more obese than Lizzo right now. Yeah. So that, in my opinion, for her to be eating like that is actually a form of slow suicide. She is very suicidal right now, and I have a message for her that I want you to deliver to her. Tell her this. The answer to your problems is not to burn down Brigadoon. I was referring to the movie Brigadoon. I am like Fiona of Brigadoon, and Brent is like Tommy Albright. You are like Harry Beaton, who is angry that he doesn't have the love in his life that he wants. He blames it on Brigadoon. Brigadoon would basically be the universe, okay? The way it's set up. But the problem is his anger over perceived unfairness of his life and situation. You have a dry vagina because you are a coward who lacks the moral courage to honor true love in your life and to make yourself vulnerable to a man. You could have been like Fiona's sister Jean if you had the moral courage as a young lady to buck our mother, who you knew was full of nonsense. I had the courage to buck her and follow my own star. You didn't. You're a coward. And until you learn some moral courage, you will always have a dry vagina. You cannot find sex exciting if you won't be genuine, vulnerable, and real with your partner. You're a flaming coward, like Harry Beaton. Maybe this is why I got punished with the flu, because I made this statement, because I started feeling bad right after I made this statement. You might say, why are you saying this? I'm saying this because at the rate she's going, if she doesn't correct her habits, she's probably going to be dead within 10 years, okay? And when I hear about that, I want to feel at peace. I want to know that I did my best to help her, okay? All right? I'm not sure she's going to listen, but at least I'm at peace with my mother's passing. I did what was right with my mother, and I'm at peace with it. That's why it's so important to follow your conscience and to have moral and emotional courage, because when the crises of life happen, like when somebody important passes from your life, you can go through it with grace when your priorities have been right your whole life. So let me go through this. Who you knew was full of nonsense. I'm referring to our mother. You might say, what a cruel thing to say about your mother. My mother is doing well right now, and I am thrilled for her. But when she was alive in her previous form, she has transitioned to her immortal body right now. She was a narcissist. It's a fact of life. She was a narcissist, okay? And my sister needs to face up to this. Who you knew was full of nonsense. I had the courage to buck her and follow my own star. You didn't. You're a coward. And until you learn some moral courage, you will always have a dry vagina. You cannot find sex exciting if you won't be genuine, vulnerable, and real with your partner. You're a flaming coward. Like Harry Beaton. I refuse to burn down Brigadoon. You all can watch the 1954 movie. It was a Lerner and Loewe musical called Brigadoon. What is life without a Brigadoon? My prescription for your dry vagina is to watch the movie Brigadoon over and over and get the message that you are angry because you want a Brigadoon deep down and you don't have it. And you will never have it until you have the courage to buck all the nonsense our mother taught us growing up. I did this early on when I accepted Christ as my Savior and became the religious nut in the family. You knew I was on the right track, and you never had the courage to follow my good example. It isn't so much that I became a born-again Christian that saved me. What saved me was that I decided our mother was full of nonsense, and I had the courage to recognize that and hold on to my dreams and never give up on the existence of true love. In fact, my life song as a young lady was Waitin' for My Dearie. That's from the movie Brigadoon. Just do a search on Waitin' for My Dearie from the movie Brigadoon and you'll see it. It was sung by Sid Charisse, who played Fiona. Oh, actually, I think her voice was dubbed, but she was the person in Brigadoon whose mouth was singing the song. I waited, I saved myself, and I got my dream man. You gave up on your dreams when you were a young lady. It's your own fault. You are a flaming coward. You might say, this is a mean thing. She's got to face up to these things or she'll never get better. She'll always have a dry vagina and it's making her miserable, okay? I refuse to burn down Brigadoon. And my goal is that the entire multiverse will be a Brigadoon. I will not allow you to burn down Brigadoon in your suicidal and vain attempt to save yourself from your misery, thinking if everyone ends up in your garbage pit, it will somehow save you. You are a fool and a coward. My prescription is for my sister to watch the 1954 movie Brigadoon over and over, and she needs to learn the answer is not to burn down Brigadoon and destroy everyone in it. I'm not sure this will work as she is very mentally ill right now. which is kind of ironic because she claims I'm mentally ill. Believe me, if I am, she's got, it's nothing compared to how mentally ill she is. I mean, she's eating herself to death. Basically, it's a form of slow suicide as a result of years and years of poor choices she has made. But if she destroys herself after I give her this good advice, at least I know I tried to help her. She doesn't have a dry vagina because of a physiological problem. It's all in her head. From all the years and years of cowardly poor choices she has made that she needs to get right. Until she has the courage to admit that she has made a ton of poor choices. I mean, she basically created a lying statement. This was in 2012. Had me committed against my will using Florida's Baker Act to a psychiatric ward, based on a lying statement that she coerced my mother into submitting to a judge. Okay, this is one of her poor choices. My men told me she did that because she was jealous. Until she has the courage to admit she has made a ton of poor choices, she will never get over her dry vagina. Because the dry vagina is in her head. Her head reflects the years and years she has crucified her dreams and crushed them and lied to herself and said that fulfillment lay in being a successful career woman. She has a bachelor's degree in nursing and a master's degree in nursing and public health. And she graduated with a 4.0 grade point average, and I was so proud of her. But apparently it didn't mean enough to her that she's happy, okay? She's not happy. I mean, if it made her happy, all good, but apparently this isn't what she really cares about. And said that fulfillment lay in being a successful career woman and never allowing a man to take advantage of her. She's lied to herself and said that this is what makes her happy, but obviously it isn't what makes her happy. But if you won't make yourself vulnerable, you cannot find love. She is a flaming coward, and I say this in love. She needs to face the truth about herself, or she will never get over her dry vagina, which is frustrating her to death. I actually think she's in a state of clinical depression over this. It's the kind of depression that kind of is underlying, but I think it's kind of like underneath everything she's going through. Your vagina is dry, sister, because you are a yellow belly. Cowards have lousy sex. Too scared to buck the narcissist mama. Too scared to admit you were the unfair favorite. She was the golden child. You know how it is with narcissists. You got the golden child and you got the one who was abused. I was the one who was abused. She was the golden child. Oh yeah, okay. Too scared to buck the narcissist mama. Too scared to admit you were the unfair favorite growing up and that our mother abused me. Too scared to be real. Too scared to make yourself vulnerable. A yellow belly coward who doesn't have the courage to face the truth that if you only held onto your dreams, as I did, you could have found true love and a fulfilling love life. Oh yeah, you started going to church, I noticed this, like when I was in my 20s, to try and land a man better than you thought you could get, because you thought it was my association with respectable Christianity that got me better men than you. No, that was not it. It was that I had the courage to be real, to buck our mother. As you can see, Mom sort of became a Christian, changing her colors after, narcissists do this all the time, after she married my stepdad, Bill, who was a wonderful man. They're both in heaven right now. Lizzo murdered Bill, by the way, but he's in heaven. But with Bill, she at least started getting real. It doesn't matter what clothes you wear if who you are underneath is fake. You gotta get real. You gotta make yourself vulnerable and never give up on your dreams. You could do this as a Buddhist, a Hindu, a New Ager, or a Christian. So the answer is to have the courage to be real and to never give up on your dreams. And no, you are not getting my Social Security number. She's playing like my son hasn't gotten the proceeds from my mother's will. But Terrance Jenkins is my lawyer, and I have been informed by Rule 13 that my son has been getting my money. Apparently she's trying to dispute that. My mother's will money. You may say, why won't you take it? Because it's set up that my sister would have control over me if I take it. Yeah. I don't need the money anyway. And I certainly don't need the money if it means it'll give her power over me. I don't want this psychopath to have power over me. All right, let's get back to this. And no, you are not getting my social security number. My men take good care of me, and I don't need you to force me into your garbage pit with you in your suicidal attempt to save yourself from your deep loneliness and misery. Sandra needs to see a good psychiatrist like Gerard Butler. Now, it's interesting that I recommended the movie Brigadoon because it's set in Scotland. And Gerard Butler is Scottish. And find the courage to be vulnerable and real like I have been most of my life. She needs to get to the root issues of why she feels she has to be the perfect career woman and cannot allow herself to be vulnerable in her relationships. I mean, she ties her husband on a leash. You see what this... It's no wonder she's got a dry vagina. I mean, how can you find sex exciting with your partner if you feel like you got to tie him up on a leash, huh? And cannot allow herself to be vulnerable in her relationships. Until then, she will be cursed with a dry vagina. The dry vagina is in her head. It's in her heart. It comes from years and years of falsity. Mother was a game player, and if you had the courage to buck her, as I did, you could have found the way to freedom and love. The answer is not a perfect performance, what our mother taught us. The answer is the opposite, to be real, to admit our mistakes, something Mother rarely did. Mother thought her opinions were all infallible. With typical narcissist, you know. To be vulnerable, to have emotional courage, to believe in yourself, to believe you as you really are worthy of love. Not always trying to be perfect, to be in control, but to be real, to allow yourself to be imperfect, and knowing despite that you can be adored as long as you try to honor your dreams and admit your mistakes and learn from them. Life seems unfair to you because I played by the rules in a different way. She was observing me. I've learned she's been in competition with me my whole life. I played by the rules in a different way, and then I broke them. And even Jesus broke them, and we seem to get all the unfair breaks to you. But what you don't get is that those of us that you currently hate and despise have one thing you don't. We are brave. We are real. We admit our mistakes and we learn from them. We don't cowardly pass the buck for our mistakes. We admit them. We grow. We are not game players, at least not most of the time. So I adopted Christianity in an attempt to be perfect, to show I was worthy of love. As you know, that bitterly failed. I found love with a Hollywood star because with this star I got real. I guess you could call it a coincidence, but something deep inside me had to be real, and to my amazement, when I made that choice, I found the man of my dreams. I could have done this as an atheist, a Buddhist, a Hindu, or whatever label you want to put on me. The point is, regardless of which group we associate with, we gotta get real to find love. We gotta believe in ourselves. We cannot give up our dreams. So if you want to pin blame on anything, the answer is really quite simple. I'm emotionally courageous. I fall flat on my face, but I get up. I don't pass the buck to others for my mistakes, but I also never give up my dreams. The price you pay for giving up your dreams is a dry vagina, sister, and there you have it. And then I left her with a Josh Groban song called The Impossible Dream. So anyways, okay, I've made my video for this week, and then after this I'm probably going to go to bed. Yeah, so as far as I know, Terrance is on the mend. I haven't heard anything about him, but Even though he's suffering, yeah, she sent a nonsense letter that she wants me to sign, saying, we need your social security number so we can dispense funds to you from your mother's will. Huh? My son's getting the money, okay? Yeah. She's playing this game, man. She's playing this game. It's like my men are all trolls, which she knows isn't true. And you say, why is she playing this game? Because she's jealous and petty and living a life of total falsity. Yeah, I already explained it. Anyways, I'm going to make this video and then I'm probably going to hit the bed. But I'm 11 days late. See, I gotta go ahead and do this, eh?
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart pure and strong. With the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah, fighting against the Jesuit order. She's the first, the passionate crusader. Spreading her side.